All right. Goodbye. The Senate is officially sine die.
It was a quiet end to one of the wildest years on record at the state capitol. When Governor Katie Hobbs kicked off the legislative session in January, she ushered in the first era of divided government in nearly 15 years, and the numbers bear out the political tension. The Republican-controlled legislature passed 348 bills and watched the Democratic governor veto a record 143 of them.
Because they are too afraid of voting against the governor, because they want to protect the governor. And although I was a big supporter and I had her in my district, she will not dictate what happens here or with my vote.
It wasn't all partisan warfare. In April, Hobbs found herself in a literal food fight with members of her own party over the so-called tamale bill. The proposal would have legalized the sale of home-cooked foods like tamales or burritos. Several Democrats joined Republicans in a failed attempt to override the governor's veto. And looking back now, Hobbs told us this week she could have handled it better.
I think that was an example of where we needed more folks on the ground and engaging earlier in the process. And we're going to do that next time.
Hobbs and the Democrats eventually mended fences, and the governor and Republican leaders set aside their differences. In May, Hobbs signed a near $18 billion bipartisan state spending plan that boosted K-12 education spending by $300 million, deposited $150 million into the Housing Trust Fund to help with affordable housing, and gave Arizona parents a $250 tax rebate for every child. Beyond the budget, the governor and the legislature compromised to kill a rental tax and let Maricopa County voters extend or reject a decades-old transportation tax next year.
So, overall, Dennis, it was a great session in terms of proving that with a divided government, we can still produce, legislation that works, that will keep the economy going.
The state's business community was mostly pleased with the outcome of Arizona's 56th legislative session, but education activists and teachers were far less satisfied. While the governor got more funding for K-12 schools, Republicans refused to give any ground to curb the explosive growth of the state school voucher program. The program allows parents to send their kids to private schools with taxpayer money. And now recent estimates show the cost ballooning to over $1 billion and threatening to blow a hole in the current state budget.
I would say the entire legislature spent the entire session, tilting at windmills around culture wars, didn't accomplish anything, got a very modest sum into one-time spending issues and didn't move the needle whatsoever, and also didn't address CSA.
Our Dennis Welch reporting from the Capitol tonight.